I've got 4 categories overall. First is camera phone, second is gaming phone, third is most underrated phone, and fourth is the best phone overall for value. So what's the best camera phone I found for under 300 USD this year? I'm going to give that crown to the Xiaomi CC9 Pro. Otherwise known as the Mi Note 10 outside of China, it is a massive step forward for camera hardware and just camera functionality for Xiaomi. You have a penta camera system, which actually gives mostly useful lenses. You have that main camera, which features the insane 108 megapixel sensor. It's much bigger than anything we've seen before. You have the 2x zoom and 5x optical zoom in the camera as well. You also get a depth sensor and a macro sensor. Those aren't as useful, but at least they're there. The CC9 Pro Premium Edition is the joint highest scorer on the DxOMark rankings. And yeah, there are a lot of good things about this camera, especially for the price point. It is not a perfect camera for sure though. Firstly, it gets the same score as the iPhone in the video rankings on DxOMark, and I'm sorry DxO, but you are just plain wrong on that one. There is also a little bit of color disparity between the lenses. When you switch from ultra wide, main, 2x and 5x, you can notice it. That's something you don't get on the iPhone. It is absolutely seamless from the ultra wide all the way into the zoom. However, I was really impressed with the stabilization in video from the CC9 Pro. The main camera and the 5x zoom both have optical image stabilization, and it definitely helps the phone out. It is not a perfect camera phone, however, and the 712 Snapdragon processor just isn't going to process those images as good as if it had a real flagship in there. But overall, for the price, it's a very, very good camera phone. Best gaming phone for me, without a doubt, is the OnePlus 7T. A 90Hz refresh rate screen for a gaming phone is a must, and this has it. It also features the best processor in the 855 Plus. You can't get better than that right now. Another great aspect of that phone though is that it features a 20:9 aspect ratio, which is even better for playing games. And importantly for me anyway, it has stereo speakers. Overall, that is a fantastic setup for gaming, and you really can't ask for much more in a gaming phone than the OnePlus 7T gives you. So how about the most underrated phone? I'm going to give it to the Oppo Reno Ace. Oppo as a brand doesn't get as much hype as OnePlus, Redmi, Xiaomi for sure, but the Reno Ace is an incredible smartphone. You can look down the specs list and tick off virtually every top spec. Starts with the Snapdragon 855 Plus, so you get the best processor. You also get a 90Hz refresh rate display, which is honestly fantastic. It has a more modern 20:9 aspect ratio, a very small notch at the top, which really I don't mind. The camera system is not the very, very best, but it is a very solid performer. You get the Sony IMX586, which we've seen in so many phones this year. It's a solid sensor. You also get an ultra wide and a 2x zoom lens. There isn't really much more you could ask for in the device, but Oppo included their 65-watt fast charging in the Reno Ace, plus you get the charging brick in the box. The Reno Ace's charging speed literally did shock me. I don't really get shocked by specs or smartphone functions anymore these days, but honestly, the charging speed is incredible. You can literally see the phone just eating through percentage points when it charges. So how about best overall value phone? Not the Reno Ace. Well, an even cheaper phone than the Reno Ace is the Realme X2 Pro. I recently called this one the king of flagship killers, and I stand by that assessment. This again has everything you would want in a smartphone. It's a real flagship killer. Snapdragon 855 Plus, quad camera, 64 megapixel main camera, ultra wide 2x zoom, and a macro sensor in there too. 90Hz 20:9 aspect ratio OLED display. It doesn't quite match the Reno Ace's 65-watt charging, but it gives you an incredible 50-watt fast charging, and the charging brick is also in the box. The best processor, a 90Hz display, and incredible fast charging. Realme just set up this phone almost perfectly. Again, the camera is decent without being world leading. It seems like if you do give up something in these phones, it's mostly the camera. Oppo, OnePlus, and Realme won 3 of the categories. And if you look at those phones, they are actually pretty much exactly the same phone with a few differences. BBK brands have the market totally sewn up. The three brands have a very close tie together and use the same manufacturing lines, and in the end, BBK is the parent company, or was the parent company, depending how you look at it, of all three of those phones. Subscribe for the latest tech news and tech videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.